candidates, they're the one whom you would like to hear.
Are you going to introduce them?
True. Yeah. Well, we can use this one too.
All right. Good evening. I guess I'll be the first to go. My name is Councilman Mansell Baker. I'm the Ward 4 council person. I am a 31-year resident of the city of East Cleveland, proud graduate of Shaw High School, proud graduate of Central State University, pursuant of a master's degree in public administration, and also a certification in education administration. My past experiences have been a dean of students on 3 separate occasions within Cleveland and also in Warrensville. I've also taught a little bit at Shaw High School. I pride myself in educating. I pride myself in educating children, and I love to see them prosper. I love to see them grow. I've also been in law enforcement, police veteran of almost, 6 years now. Went to Police Academy in Dayton, Ohio. Glad to have gone to Dayton, Ohio Police Academy. Came back to Cleveland, worked in the administration as an executive assistant. Also ran as a precinct committee person and won that race. Also was appointed to the executive committee most recently. And then appointed to council upon an unexpired term of my predecessor. I am grateful to serve the city of East Cleveland, and I look forward to the best, and I look forward to your support going forward, no matter what outcome there is.
Did y'all flip a coin?
I'm just amazed. But how y'all doing today? My name is Juanita Gowdy, and I am running for Ward 2, and I'm new to it, but I'm going to be true to it, because it is time for a change, and I am part of East Cleveland for over 17 years of services of East Cleveland, and I have children that I raised in East Cleveland, and also I'm glad to be a citizen to East Cleveland, and what I want to see in East Cleveland for me and for our community for a change. It's time for a change. And it's time for a change in offices, and it's time for a change in our community to upbring the things that need to be brought into our community. I'd be amazed to see things that's not, working when I hear people really complaining about our city. So I've stepped up, and I have a desire to be a council for East Cleveland. That's my desire for our community. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Barbara J. Thomas. Martin always uses the Jean, and the reason I use it is because there's another Barbara Thomas in the city of East Cleveland, and someone called me one time and said, "Congratulations on having a new baby." So I just decided to use the J, which is Jean. I am the current councilwoman for Ward 2. Ward 2 is a diversified ward. That means is full of all different races. And that's why we called it multicultural ward. I have been a councilwoman for 12 years. I was elected in 2003. When I came to the council, I come from labor, which is a background that have prepared me to stand here and be a councilwoman. I went to the School of Labor. I sat on the Ohio Retirement System Board, which was and was over 107,000 county employees. I won that seat through 88 counties across the city. My experience from being a labor person and sitting on the board gave me the experience that I need to be a legislator. The legislation makes rules, makes policies, and appropriate. I also worked with the auditors while I'm here. I started the single women head of household, and it's still there with $300,000. My time is up, and I'm asking for your support in re-electing Barbara J. Thomas.
You have heard from the candidates, and they've told you why they are running for the council. The first, I've put your names in the hat, three of you, and the first question will go to Mansell Baker. What is the role of a member of council, and what is the role of council as a whole?
Thank you, Councilman Mays. The question was, what was the role of the members of council and also council as a whole? The council persons are responsible for appropriating the budget. We're also responsible for the employees and creating the qualifications and standards for those. We're also tasked with the opportunity of setting the laws for the city, so passing ordinances and resolutions for the city to operate upon. One of our abstract roles are to be visible presence within the community and a representative of the people. You are our bosses, and we are tasked with carrying out your wishes. And a lot of the times we get calls from the residents, and we have to refer those to the administration to handle. I am also happy to represent some 6,000 residents within the Ward Fork area, and I love representing them as their voice to the community. As a member of council, I have had the experience of sitting on a number of committees. I've sat as the chairperson of the Health and Safety Committee, which is over police and fire and health services. I also am the current chair of the Contracts and Properties Committee, which is tasked with overseeing the contracts and approving particular things relative to the sale and acquisition of property. I really appreciate serving on those committees because they've taught me a lot. They taught me how to govern this city. They taught me how to move this city passionately in a direction where we need to go in this trying and critical time in our community.
Cell phones on vibrate.
All right, the next speaker will be that of Barbara Thomas. The question to you, the same question. What is the role of the member of council, and what is the role of council as a whole?
I would have to repeat the same thing that my colleague, Councilman Mansell Baker, stated. I would just go a little farther. The role of the council is to legislate and appropriate and look for ways to improve on the council legislation. This year we have passed 36 legislation. Last year we passed 63 pieces of legislation. That means that this council has been working. When the council makes laws and it goes into effect, if you say it's emergency, it goes into effect immediately. If you say it's on 2 readings, then it takes 2 times for it to get to be law. We also have to adjust ourselves to becoming a council working as a whole and doing what we need to do for the residents and keep the residents in safety and all the other entities that we need to do. Those are the things that we enact as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. The next candidate is Gowdy. Same question, and then you will take the first question. Okay. So you can answer this one.
Did you get a question? Did you hear the question?
I haven't asked that.
You will, this question to Mrs. Gowdy, and Mrs. Gowdy, you will answer the next question, be first on that one. What is the role of a member of council, and what is the role of council as a whole?
Well, council do make laws, and they do have to come in agreement of amending, and they have to rule over things that need to be done in our city. Also, council also can veto and override things when it's not right in our city. And council also have to be responsible to help to hear what the voices of the community have to say, so the community can be part of a voice in council meetings. And council shouldn't override a lot of things that our community really need for support of our community. And also, being a role of a council is being concerned, knowing budget, knowing how to not overspend, and not ruling for everything that the mayor put across the table.
Thank you. Hold the mic. We will give you 30 seconds to rebuttal anything that you may have heard in this, and I forgot to make mention of that at the beginning, so everyone has spoke on the first question. So if anything that you've heard you would like to rebuttal or add to, you have that opportunity to do it in 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. I would like to, encourage the community that, while we are the members of council, we still need the residents of this community.
Rebutting of my question, my statement now,
just what somebody said.
Rebut whatever your colleagues.
Okay, well, I'll add to, there was one abstract point that was missed. And one thing that I know Ms. Gowdy just stated, that we're tasked with, spending the money. We're not the ones that spend the money. Actually, the mayor does.
All right.
I want to make a correction. My new opponent has said that the council vetoes. The council does not veto. The council speaks through legislation. We cannot do anything without speaking through legislation. Whatever the mayor does and he puts out there, it has to be taken down through an ordinance, like we just did. The mayor went out. Time's up.
Time's up. The next question goes to Mrs. Gowdy. How do you plan to promote and market East Cleveland, as well as redistricting the image, redirecting, let me read it again. How do you plan to promote and market East Cleveland, as well as redirecting the image of East Cleveland?
Well, I plan to help out with the community of all these holes in the streets. Now, we do have a budget plan, and that is a problem with our community of our concerned citizens that pay taxes, and that's actually is part of our community. They shouldn't have to actually see a lot of things going on, like bandit houses and boarded up houses and stripping out houses, and my idea is to connect with the community with different departments of job readiness, of family services, and getting some networking in here, help the homeless with the Salvation Army. And I'm really looking out for our community of budgeting, that we won't be overspending, and be careful of what I'm signing of all time, because you can sign your city away.
Same question will go to Mrs.
The next question will go, the same question will go to Mrs. Thomas at this time. And let me kind of draw my timekeepers in. This is 2 minutes on the question. We ask them questions now, and then they'll have the minute to rebuttal after the question. How do you plan to promote and market East Cleveland, as well as redirect the image of East Cleveland?
First of all, I want to rebut the fact that...
No, you're not rebutting now. You're answering the question.
I'm sorry. What we do have is CDBG funds, and I plan to deal with the CDBG funds and reach out into beyond East Cleveland. We have the services that I am thinking we should share, where the mayor wants to give away our city. If we do sharing of services, we can connect with the other neighboring communities or wards. Say, for instance, we're looking at Glenville. Glenville has the same problem that we have, and it's down. We can share those share services with Glenville. We also can share with Cleveland Heights, which we have before used their fire department. We can get involved with small business loans through the CDBG fund and bring in the small businesses and promote small business. And yes, we can do social services, but social services don't create money. What we are looking for now is resources. And right now, everybody is saying we are broke. We are not broke. We got $560,000 cash in the bank, and we're still rolling. We were better than we were last year. What we're trying to do now is get the resources that we need and promote East Cleveland. Poor management from just about every person that have come in and tried to manage East Cleveland. That's what's happening. We need to deal with the resources, get the money straight, and I have been working with the auditors, and the money is straight.
Thank you. Mr. Baker, how do you plan to promote and market East Cleveland, as well as redirect the image of East Cleveland?
Being a longtime resident of this community, we have had our fair share of bad marketing. The 90s had its, media witnessing on Fox 8 and all the other channels, from the gang violence to the murders and things like that was happening. Then most recently we dealt with the financial situations hitting all sorts of media from the state on down. I would promote East Cleveland and change its marketing strategy, and that's kind of my major. I would change it by creating an internet-based business gateway, connecting with residents as it relates to upkeep of property, encouraging the upkeep of property through our business department. I'm sorry, not the business department, our building and grounds department. Creating the access channel to be accessible to all residents and the school board and the city council and the administration, and we not limit it to who can have access to that channel. The social media, we're entering into a social media stage in our society to where our young people and our older people alike are all on Facebook, are all on Instagram, they're all on Twitter. Everybody is becoming more accessible. And we also need to stretch out on demands of hiring qualified people to operate our city. And that comes to Councilman Nate Martin's Personnel and Appointments Committee, restructuring those qualifications, and also our fiscal management. If we manage properly, we can stay out of the media saying East Cleveland is without money, East Cleveland can't survive. If we can't survive, then they need to come turn the lights off, they need to stop issuing payroll checks, and dissolve East Cleveland right now. But until we do that, we're still up and running, we still have a bright future.
Thank you. The question was, what is the role? The question was, how do you plan to promote and market East Cleveland, as well as redirect the image of East Cleveland? Anyone now wish to rebuttal, you have 30 seconds. And I see Ms. Thomas' hand.
I'm not, what you said, rebuttal? Yeah. Okay. I'll redirect. The image of East Cleveland is not tarnished. We're just not using the assets that we have. East Cleveland has
Mrs. Thomas,
yeah.
Anything that someone else said of your constituents, that's what you're rebutting. That not adding to what you said before.
Probably not. Do you have anything that you disagree with?
If apparently you don't, so we're going to move on.
Okay, thank you.
The next question will go to Thomas, to Mrs. Thomas. And that question is this. What are your views on merger with another city? What are your views on a merger with another city, or annex, or whatever adjective you like to use, merger, annexation, or whatever?
Well, we know both merger and annexation is the same, so let's get that out the way real quick. My views on merging with Cleveland is absolutely not. We need to, and the reason that we are against annexation is the fact that Cleveland has nothing to offer East Cleveland. Also, the annexation will cause us a problem. We become integrated into an area that's already in trouble. Their police force is a mess. The city is a mess. They're trying to recall the mayor. Now, what you think of that? And when you're talking about potholes,
I ask the audience, please remain silent and listen to the candidate, please. Thank you. Thank you.
and when you talk about potholes and the streets and what have you, if you look back at the real bad winter and the storm that we had, they lied to you. They told you they had it all covered, and it was a black man that they put up there to do that. The second thing is they said they had the potholes covered. It was a black man again that they put up front, and he lied. So all those holes are now just beginning to get done because their whole fleet was down. So if you got a liar over there and a liar over here, what do you want to merge for?
That's right.
And I'm not going to merge because they're not bringing me anything. All the assets that I have here, like my library, like my theater, like the rapid transit going from all the way from Windermere all the way down to the airport. We have assets that we have not promoted and have not used. We can do that. This whole Euclid area could become another Euclid Square like we have downtown. And my city is called Downtown East Cleveland. That's my ward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. Please, we've asked you to excuse me, please, to hold your pause and your comments until which time they are finished. And then you have an opportunity to applaud them. Please do not. You're distracting them and other people can't hear. So please refrain from that. We have to learn how to follow rules and regulations. It's to you, Baker, Mr. Baker. The same question. What are your views on a merger with another city?
Thank you, Mr. Mays. My views towards the merger is that first I would like to state to this community I was the first council person to say that I was against the merger in a meeting with Jeff Johnson and Kevin Conwell in the Glenville Recreation Center. I am against this merger and annexation solely because we are capable of managing our own city. It takes the right leader with the right vision and the right set of goals in mind. I have a problem with the city of Cleveland. Not only do I have a problem with the 137 shots that they fired into two unarmed suspects behind Heritage Middle School. I also have a problem with their fire department's switch of trading time, and it wasn't, pretty much documented correctly. They were switching time under the table. I have a problem with the fact that they don't agree with the direction of their mayor. So if citizens over there don't agree with the direction of their mayor, how can East Cleveland residents join with that and still agree with their mayor? We have not experienced economic growth within this community. So if we jump forward towards creating an economic development hub, an area whereas we control and market and develop business and push it towards an economic superpower within the city of East Cleveland, I believe that we'll be okay. I want to state just on, to you guys that council enacted or passed a ordinance on a resolution on the other night disavowing the petitions. Those petitions were deceptive, so anything that starts with deceit is going to end in deceit, and I'm just glad that I have an opportunity to stand here, represent you guys, and be in this fight for East Cleveland for the long haul.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. The next question, the same question goes to you, Mrs. Dowdy.
Well,
Excuse me, let me ask the question. What are your views on merging with another city?
I definitely disagree 100%. I love East Cleveland, and that's something that never crossed my mind, because East Cleveland can be back. Long as it's got breath, we walking around here, it could come back alive. It can resurrect. So I feel like the merge for Cleveland to East Cleveland would be not good for nobody. Because if they suffering over there like we suffering over here, we'll just be some suffering folks. So I'm just saying, it's really messed up over there, and it's really messed up over here, and we'll just be some messed up folks. So merging with them, I don't have time to be even more messed up and confused. And they mayor over there ain't doing nothing like our mayor over here ain't doing nothing. So that's where I'm at with merging. No, I'm not running. I'm staying. And I hope the community stay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any debate, rebuttal? Hearing none, we move right on. This question goes back to you, Mr. Baker. Should council members' attitude and action reflect a sense of public service rather than personal interests?
Wow, that's the greatest question on tonight, other than the annexation question. When representing a group of people, I've come to learn over my experiences from college to now that you just don't stand alone when you're representing people. You stand for the interests of those in which that you're responsible to representing, and you also contribute yourself or make a contribution to the community in which you represent in a professional manner. Over time, I've witnessed, chairs being thrown in council meetings. I'm not just speaking of East Cleveland, but I'm speaking of abroad too. And this is why we shouldn't annex. We see chairs thrown, we see, arguing, fussing, and fighting. The people of East Cleveland are multicultural. We're an urban city nonetheless, but we're a city that houses professional people, it houses educated people, and it houses people who have goals in mind for their city. And we must represent those strategic ideals in the proper manner. Professionalism, integrity, and character. If government does not have that, then you get into the personal manifestations of what it is a person would want to have happen within that city. I pledge and have always stated that I will remain professional to this community, standing up for it, and making sure that I lead the right example for not only our seniors, not only our middle-aged residents, but more importantly, our children.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. The question now goes to Mrs. Gowdy. Should council members' attitude and actions reflect a sense of public service rather than personal interests?
No. just believe that council should have some kind of role model before the president of our community. They should take a stand for what is right. They should also look at our community as if it's their own household, if they going in and out their own household. So the question is, for that answer is, if council stands up and do what they supposed to do for our community, then we wouldn't want to have to merge or go nowhere else or anything. So I'm not a council right now, but when I become one, I would conduct our community in a respectful way, and I will reach out to our community and hear their voice and their worries. And also, I will be the best counsel that I will answer my phones and everything, for leaders of our council. My line, if I can't get to you, I will come to you, okay? And that's how I would look at the facts. And I will see about fixing the problem than making the problem worse. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gowdy. Goes to Mrs. Thomas now. Should council members' attitude and action reflect a sense of public service rather than personal interest?
Any official, not only just, am I got to turn it on? I don't know if I got it on. Any official is supposed to act with the greatest of integrity and professionalism. I have been in public service for over 40-some years. I have represented the public for all of my adult life. And if you're in the public eye, you don't create a problem, you be part of the resolution. Even when our council used to, according to some of our residents, used to be a show when they was on Channel 9. When I became president of the council, that was the first thing that I wanted to change, was the image of the council. The image of the council to the residents is the most important thing it is. They want to be respected. They want to know that you talk intelligent. They want to know that you know their problems, you understand their problems, and you don't make excuses, you make adjustments. And that's what you do, because my residents all over the city, as president now, are so important to me. And I try to do everything I can. That means answering the phone at 8:30 in the morning when Miss Lockhart calls me. That means answering the phone at 10:30 at night when somebody else calls me. That means going out and looking and see who got shot on then when I heard about it, on Shaw. That means whatever happens, I'm supposed to know about it. I can't fix it, but I can make adjustments that it won't happen on my watch without me knowing, and taking care of the safety of my residents. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Your time is up. Is there any rebuttal? Hearing none, we're moving right along, and we're doing quite well. This question goes to you, Mrs. Gowdy, again. If you are elected, what would be your main priority for the coming year, 2016, to move the city of East Cleveland forward?
Well, I would try to actually, when I look at City Hall, move that forward. City Hall, I was just sharing with somebody today how I rode past City Hall and how the outside of City Hall really do look. We don't have to look like that. When the rain come down, it seems like the rain is going all in the windows. And I said, if I had the key, I would go into City Hall and pull down the windows, because the rain is getting all in the window, all on the blinds and everything. I would fix up the bathroom in City Hall, the ladies' bathroom. I would put a new look on City Hall. In fact, I would look into getting a new City Hall, moving it into an empty lot right down here on Forest Hill, you know. So, you know, the Forest Hill is just waiting on somebody to come and put something up there. So I will tear down houses that don't belong in there, in our city. I will fix up the houses that can be fixed up. I will help get these streets back in order again. I will help try to bring in some stores. I would love a Save-A-Lot in East Cleveland. I would love an Otis in East Cleveland. I would love a Randall Park Mall in East Cleveland. I would love a Boys and Girls Club in East Cleveland. So, you know, I have loved East Cleveland from the beginning, and that we had everything workable, and I would try to upgrade it back workable again.
Thank you, Mrs. Gowdy. Mrs. Thomas, the same question. If you are elected, what would be your main priority for the coming year, 2016, to move the city of East Cleveland forward?
First of all, the city has no plan. And without a plan, there is no forward. Everything that you do has to start with a model or a plan. We are now looking for a recovery plan that has not transpired. First of all, the city needs money, which is resources. I will be trying to look for more money, more resources to bring into the city of East Cleveland. Taking the face of the City Hall is a minor thing. And most people are not going to the women's bathroom. So what I am saying is that if you have a plan, and that's what I'll be working on, trying to initiate a plan that will take us forward, that will build the Euclid up, that will create a sense of security for our residents as we go forward. And I'm working on that right now, because I am the council already. I don't have to deal with what's going to happen. I'm working on it right now. Thank you.